What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Let me get to the spot. Hey, everybody. What is going on? This is Plan Your Greatness, and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. And let's get started today. And as you can see, today is Financial Friday. Yay! All right, it's Financial Friday. And I've got a question for you. Do they, meaning does your crew, who's ever hanging around with you, married, girlfriend, significant other, do they have the money mindset? We're going to discuss that here on Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel.
I get it. Yeah. I took quarter water, sold it in bottle.
We are here on Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. All right, before we went to the break, I asked the question, does your crew have the money mindset? Now, we're not talking just about money. It's really more of a progressive, moving forward, getting better sort of mindset. But money is one of the greatest tools that we can use that kind of monitors how we're moving forward. Now, one of the books that I read, it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the author is Robert Kiyosaki. So as I was following him, Robert Kiyosaki let the audience know that one of the first questions he was asking women as he was dating them, because he knew where he was going, was, how much money do you want to make? Now, it sounds almost very narcissistic. It sounds very I'm just focused on money, money, money. But what Robert Kiyosaki said is that I have visions on growing an empire, making a whole lot of money. So if you have very limited visions of money, a limited money mindset, then we're not going to be a good match. So the first person that he ran into that actually answered the question like, oh yeah, I really have dreams of making a whole lot of money. He said, okay, well, I'm going to stick with her for a little bit. And eventually they got married, and now they're both doing great things together. All right. So I have this internal list on questions and things that I ask of people to see if they're in the money mindset. And I believe you want to do this as early as possible. There's another little guy that I listen to by the name of Graham Stephan. He has a couple of channels, Graham Stephan, the Graham Stephan Show. And Graham speaks specifically about, hey, we need to get them questions answered sooner than later. And I absolutely 100% agree. You need to ask those questions as soon as possible, because the longer you go without answering them questions, they're going to become monsters later on. And I have this vision that I believe there's about between 200 and 300 questions that are mandatory that you need to ask before you actually even get intimate with somebody. And money is almost at the very top of the list. Because though, we've seen the statistics that divorces are usually as a result of difference in money philosophy. All right. So along with asking the person, how much money do you want to make? I feel one of the next questions, or very soon after that, you need to be asking that person, how do you plan on making it? If you have this money mindset that you want to make a lot of money and you want to live and be able to do things, and it's not so much just living this lavish life. It's just that money allows you to do a lot of stuff. So then the next question I ask is, how do you go about doing it? Are you going to try to get some skills? Are you going to try to get yourself educated? Are you going to be doing maybe self-education into real estate? Whatever it is, how do you plan out? What's your plan of action? Because if you don't have a plan of action, like I mentioned in other videos, you're just going to be a tool. You'll be a tool for other people who have a money mindset, and they'll be utilizing you while they're making money. All right. The next thing I'm going to ask is, do you know the difference between an asset and a liability? Now, most people think they do, but I'll break down my interpretation of an asset and a liability. To me, an asset is something that you have, that you own, or you have controlling interest on, that is going to be increasing in value over time and has cash flow either every day, every week, every month, every year. They have to have those two components. If they don't, to me, they're not an asset. Now, people will say, well, this and that and this and that. For my understanding of what's an asset, it must be increasing in value all the time, and it must be spitting out cash flow that I could use to either reinvest in the business, I could either live off it, or I can invest it into something else. That's my interpretation of an asset. Now, my interpretation of a liability is almost the opposite of those, that it does not or is not increasing in value, and it does not create any sort of cash flow. And the two examples I can think of specifically are a house and a car. And now some of you are going to jump into my comments and go, well, a house increases in value over time. And then I said, okay, can you go up to that house and break off a chunk of that house every day, every week, every month, every year, and do something with it? Nah, you can't. You are paying for homeowners insurance, maybe some HOA, and you're paying a mortgage. And even if you're paying rent, then it's definitely a liability because you don't have any sort of ownership of it. And the other one is a car. And again, a car, you're either making a car payment, you're either making an insurance payment, you're either making maintenance, tires, oil changes. All those things are coming out of your pocket every day, every week, every month, every year. Now, the only thing that would make those two assets is if they are some way connected to a business. Okay? And there's many ways to look at that and how you can do that through how it's listed on your taxes and everything. But other than that, either it's increasing in value, got money coming out of it as cash flow, or on the other hand, it's a liability if it is not increasing in value, and you can't take any money off of it, or there's nothing coming out of it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that's my interpretation. Now, my next question is that I'm going to ask somebody is, where do you see yourself in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? At any point in time, somebody should have some sort of idea on where either they're going to have the short term, which to me is 1 year or less. So where do you see that? Or they're either going to be able to talk about where they want to see themselves in 20 years. That will go past very quickly. It's been years since I played professional baseball, and I had to reinvent myself after prison because when I got out, I had no idea what I was going to do in the next day. I was just floundering. And now I have a good grasp of that. And as I've said before, every time I ask these questions of you, I've also asked these questions of myself because I've been through situations where when I didn't ask myself these questions, I was in trouble. Because again, as you are asking so many of these questions, you want them to be on their own path. You want them to blaze their own trail, have their own goals, have their own mindset. Now, somebody may say, and I thought about that. I said, what if I talk to some girl and she goes, man, you really putting it down. You really got your thing. You really working it. So my goal is to support you and see you make it to your goal. I would think that would be great. But I would also encourage the person, it would be best if you have your own, because these are the things that I want. So I want you to have your own. I'll support you. You in turn can support me, and then we can come together and share our ideas and support each other. That's what I'm looking at. I want you to kind of stand on your own, because if people do not have, going back to the beginning, if you don't have the money mindset, if you don't have the sense of where you're going, how are you going to actually support me in my money mindset? All right. Now, as I mentioned before, when I was in prison, I had to, there was really no option other than me having a money mindset, really shifting from coming into the system after going through depression, after going through homelessness, and then in this nasty, negative environment where everybody really has no money mindset, no idea of how they're going to progress. They see themselves as just this being the end of the road, and whatever they came into the system, they said, I'm going to step right back out into that. And that's something I don't want to have. So you need to, and just I had to ask people those questions very early because I want to say, I'm on this path. Are you on the same path? And if you start asking people those questions, you'll be amazed at the answers they get and the people that you can either say, that's somebody that's going to ride with me. That's somebody I need to get rid of. And if you start doing that, then you are absolutely on the path to planning your greatness. All right. Make sure you hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, send it to somebody. Let them know they can get updated on these videos. I do them every week. Also, I have a channel, Plan Your Greatness, on Instagram, but I also have, connected to Financial Fridays, I have the Hamilton Family Tax Service channel, which this goes up every Friday. Now, on the Plan Your Greatness, something goes up every day during the week, Monday through Friday. And so again, I will close as I always do. Plan your greatness. You know why? Yeah. Love it when that little guy takes us home. Plan your greatness. You know why? Because no one else will. I will see you guys all next Friday on Financial Fridays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. You guys take care.
No one said, hey, what's up? No one.